Alright, how is everyone? This video is a bit different to what I normally make. So this video is answering why is private therapy so expensive? Why is private counselling so expensive? To try and explain what's behind that. And money businesses can be such an uncomfortable topic for people, and I've done a lot of work around mindset and finances and money blocks and everything like that. And yeah, so I feel like I want to give a bit of understanding around this stuff, and I'll give my experience as well. So I remember when I went to a private therapist, and back then she was charging what I charge now, and I remember thinking, wow, that's expensive. And I remember being like a little bit resentful towards her, which is weird because she was so helpful. Um, and I thought about this the other day, and I thought, God, imagine if people think that when they're working with me, as well. So that might have influenced this video, I don't know. But I want to give you all the reasoning, and then I want to give you the differences between private and between NHS as well, so people can make like the best decision for them. So let's see then. So with private counselling, first of all, you usually have to be a member of a registered body, and mine is the BACP, the British Association for Counselling and Psychotherapy, and they charge a yearly fee. So that's the first thing. So you've got the cost of that to factor in. Now, as being a member with them, there's requirements, and one of them is to pay for a supervisor that you have to see at least once a month, depend on your client load. So you're paying that as well. And the supervisor, can help you if you're stuck, can also make sure you're fit for practice, you're not reaching burnout, anything like that. So there's two things in there. Another thing will be your insurance, and what you pay for that as well. What else we got in there? We also have a recommendation for the hours that you should be doing as a counsellor, and it's around about the 20 hours a week mark. Because the job comes with high amounts of burnout, you can absorb a lot of what people are going through. You're human, you're going to feel it. So it's super important to keep your hours at a level that the human mind can handle as well. So I think that's quite a big factor. What else we got in there? So CPD. Oh no, I didn't mention CPD. Continued professional development, which means you, as a member of your approving body, you also need to be showing that you're always learning. Your continued professional development, which involves costs for training courses, whether they be online or in person. Sometimes you get lucky and there's free ones as well. So that is another factor in there as to what creates this price for private therapy. What else? You've got things like if you're driving to venues, you've got your petrol, you've got your rent of your venue. The last one I rented was £15 an hour, so that's got to go on to the cost of the session. The new one I'm at now is £6.60 a month rent. And yeah, so you've got CPD, insurance, your limit on your hours, your BACP membership, your supervision, your petrol, your stationery, and then your self-care. You need to be looking after yourself, because if you're not looking after yourself to a good level, you're not going to be good for anybody else. So what does self-care look like? It might be a gym membership, it might be a food subscription thing, or you've got to make sure you're really doing a good job. It's got to be at a high level, because if you're not, like I said, you're not going to be good at helping anybody. You've got to, as the saying goes, fill up your own cup kind of thing. So you got more to give, which I like that saying. So yeah, those are all just factors that I can think of, which means there's probably more as well that comes into the costing of the private therapy. So I wanted to point them out in case anybody thought like I thought when I was a little bit resentful and I was thinking she's greedy, you know. And actually, there's a lot to it. What's behind that price? And then last thing, I just want to point out the difference of the say private therapy and the NHS. So NHS is usually time limited, which means you might only get 6 sessions. Sometimes you just get into the root of something in 6 sessions. Imagine you just get into the root and then you know your hands are tied. So that's one thing to point out. Obviously, NHS is free, so you've got that benefit versus private. But you do have the time limit on it, and I'm also told that you are told you can only pick certain topics, like one topic to work on at a time. I don't know if that's true, that's just what people have told us. Whereas in private, you've got more control over the topics, what you want to work on, and it's really tailored for you. It's not, it's also not just one style of therapy, make it fit. It's depending who you work with, like the way I work, different therapies depend on what's needed. So there's that to point out as well. Yeah. There is other things, I don't know if these count for people, but some people don't want it to be on the medical records, depend on their line of work or something. I don't know, I'm hoping that changes because it shouldn't be something that goes against anybody. Speaking out is the best thing you can do and working on stuff. So yeah, and also with the NHS therapy versus the private, with the NHS you're given who you're given to work with. With private you can choose. Now imagine you're given someone you don't gel with. How are you going to have the rapport? How are you going to open up? You might go away thinking, well, that didn't work. Oh, I'll never try again. And you might go in a worse mindset. I had an NHS therapist, and when I was about 17, 18 or something, and she was one of the therapists that wasn't so great, unfortunately, and I was with severe anxiety, depression and suicidal thoughts, and she more or less told us to just get on with it and that I should deal with the anxiety as it'll just be part of my life. And I was just like, wow, is that how it is? I left so deflated. I got my 6 sessions and I was deflated. I thought, wow, but on a positive, it did inspire us to look into it and think, I feel like I could do a better job, so yeah. Anyways, hopefully that gave a bit of understanding around what's behind the price. And like I say, it's not a comfortable topic. Every time I put my prices up, I feel uncomfortable. I get hit with the big fears of what if nobody wants to work with you? What if people leave, kind of thing. And it's not putting your prices up again to be greedy. It's to match everything that I've just said and to make doing what you're doing viable, and sustainable. We want to keep going as your therapist. We don't want it to be, I can't afford to be a therapist anymore. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully that made sense. And something that I forgot to do on videos, if anyone does want to work with me, my company is Natalie Counselling Services. All right, thank you.